All right, hey everybody. So we have our television, our retro TV, and it is all modeled up. So in order to UV map this, we actually don't need the texture. We can UV it before we have the texture. Sometimes you create a texture along with making the object, or sometimes it may influence your UVing. But it's a pretty straightforward object. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the stuff that we did with the weirdo shape, and we'll UV this. So let's dive right into this. So the easiest things you can think of is anything that has like a flat UV to it, or a cylindrical map, and then something more organic like the back of this. We're probably going to have to unfold. And then the base over here, this will be pretty simple because we're not seeing, it's not really involved too much in the whole process. So that does look like that wasn't put on there right in the middle. So that's not good. Anyways, aside from that, the other thing that we can do is we can make the television screen a different in a different location, so that we can make it a different shader, so that we could give it we can illuminate it so that it looks like it's actually like glowing. So start with you can start with the easiest one, you can start with the hardest one. Oftentimes I like to start with the hardest one because then it makes everything else kind of a cakewalk. So let's start with the hardest one, and that's going to be the whole body of the television. So we're going to start with just the back of it, and I just selected everything except for just the back, didn't select the front. We go into our UV editor, and we can see here we got some funky looking stuff there. And I'm going to throw on a normal based UV map. So the normal based UV map is just figuring out the best way to place it. And of course, if we look at it, whoa, it's crazy stretched. So obviously not good. But it's the start. So the thing that we can do is we could go in here. We can go into edge mode. We select these edges. We select this edge. Select this edge. Select this edge. And I'm just holding down shift while I'm doing that. And then we go over to cut so. We cut it. And once we have that, we go back into our editor, go to UV shell, select the whole thing, and then we go down to unfold, and we unfold it. And there you go. There is our first texture. And that's the hardest one, so the rest of it is going to be a total cakewalk. Let's do the next one, which is not too difficult, but some unknowns about it. So we want to select all the top parts except for the bottom, and we could do this as a cylindrical map, or the easiest thing that we could do is do a normal based UV map. And if we look at what it looks like here, we can see there's some stretching going on. The top isn't so bad. But what we could do after that, let's see what happens if we just select unfold after this. All right, let's see that. That is not actually all that bad. I was going to cut one side and then I was going to unfold it. But you see here, it's projected it from the top, and then it pulled these guys up. So I think we can call that one done. And like I said before, once you have these guys set, just move them off to the side. And that way we know all the stuff we have left to do is right here in the middle. And let's do the next part, which might be a little more difficult, are these guys here. So the side, this one I'm just going to do a regular cylindrical map. Let's see if we have everything selected. Everything looks good. We give that a cylindrical map. And obviously it's a little off because it's on the wrong axis. So we click on this little T, we click on this this blue circle, and now we have to move the gizmo around. So it's a jumble of all kinds of stuff in there. Nope, not the wrong one. Like that. So rotate Z, I go over here and I change this to 90. And then I click on this circle out here. No, that's not gonna work. Let's click on the T. There we go. And move those guys out there. Move this guy around, rotate this guy around. Let's see if where our seam is. Right underneath. Looks good. All right. We can move that out of the way. That's just going to have like notches on the outside, so pretty simple texture. And then let's do the same thing with this guy. Nope, we got some extra ones there. Do the same thing. Cylindrical. Click on the T. Click on the circle. And then I think it's also going to be a rotate Z. Yep. 90. Click on the T. Bring these guys down. Oh, our seam's not in the right spot. There we go. Let's check this out. Looks good. Move that over there. All right, plugging along. This will be super fast. Then let's do the front of the whole thing. So I could just UV the whole thing. Now this is a really important concept to get. I could do the whole thing and then we can unfold it. However, sometimes you want to utilize edges of a texture in order to get a really hard line. Sometimes this is good for if your texture isn't super big, then you can force a little hard line. So that's what we'll do with this. We're going to do the outside. And you can see this is what it looks like here. It's not all that bad, but still unfolded. It's not proportionate. And there's that. Let's unfold and see what happens. There, a little bit better. Good. All right, and let's do the front of the TV screen. So the CRT, normal based. I just clicked unfold just for the hell of it, see what happens. Now this guy is an interesting one. This guy would probably be easier to texture if we made it as like a ribbon. We could do it a couple ways. One way we could click on normal based, and then we could go down here and unfold it. And let's see what that looks like. That's not too bad. The only thing is when we paint it, could be a little weird. You have to just paint it gray and then change some, because there's a little line around the edge. I think that's fine. We'll leave that there. It'll make it more obvious what we're looking at. All right, we're almost done. And all we need is the caps here. We can do them both at the same time because neither of them is connected to each other. And then we'll remove that front piece, just holding down Control. And then I have this over here that I think I didn't connect. Let's make sure none of the faces on these little levers is connected. Alright, I think that's good. It's normal based. Those guys are good. And then we'll do these guys. I actually have strange, whoops, what's up with that? Normal based, UV shell, dunk, dunk. There we go. That was weird. So, also, Unfold is not the miracle panacea. Don't presume that you can just unfold everything and it's just going to be absolutely perfect. Stuff like this, which is not very organic, you do want to make sure, and I cut the edges around it so that you'll see what it looks like. There, just like that. You want it to be a little bit more mechanical. So, you know, if it's if you're doing something for like a character, you can have it be more organic. And the only thing I think left is underside here, which is probably good to go anyways. Yeah, here we go. All right, we have everything. Let's select it all. Let's go down to Range and Layout, and click Layout. Turn on our checkerboard. Everything looks good here, except I'm going to move this over into the other side. And remember that it'll only lay out, and then let's just lay out, it'll only lay out one object that you have selected. And I'm going to make that smaller. So what I've done here, if I turn this off, I'll lay those guys out. So what I've done here is I made this bigger so that this will be a second texture, and this one I'm going to rotate a little bit so that it's a little bit more it'll be easier to paint. There, and I have a little more room down there. And then I'm gonna put these guys together so that they make a little more sense. And put these dials together so that they make a little more sense. And then I'm gonna move these just a little bit out from each other. Alright, and there is our UV set, and then we save that up, and in the next video we're going to make the texture for it. Cool, thank you everyone for watching.